Hey guys, welcome to Ragma Training. Today let's understand how to install the PostgreSQL and how to set up the environment in our local machines. Okay, to do that, first let's launch the new browser window. Okay, and search for PostgreSQL. Okay, and the search results will give us a list of links to explore. Let us pick the first link, which is the PostgreSQL.org. Okay, so here is the home page of the product that we are exploring. The website gives us the details of the product in terms of when it was founded and what are the things it happened till date, the documentations, the downloads, like what are the varieties of packages that it's available for different platforms, the community that it has established throughout the years, what are the new releases, what are the latest events that are happening, right? So everything related to the PostgreSQL is available in this particular website. So now let us move to the download link in the particular website. So this gives us the packages that are available. So basically PostgreSQL was developed for Unix platforms, but however it was designed to be portable. What does that mean? The PostgreSQL can also run on other platforms such as Macintosh, Linux, Solaris, Windows, right? So let's concentrate on the Windows operating system here. Just click on the Windows link. It will take us to the new page where we have the different versions that are available for different platforms of Windows, that is 64-bit or 32-bit, right? So let us get into the installer file page. So click on the download the installer link. So this will take us to the page where we can download the exe files that are required for the Windows operating system. If you observe, the latest version that is available for Linux is 11.8, whereas for Windows and Macintosh you can see it is for 12.3. So let's go ahead and download the latest version, latest stable version for Windows. Okay, so I'm looking for Windows 64-bit, so I'll just click on download. So this will start the download automatically. So the exe file you can see here, right? So this will get downloaded automatically into your local machine. Okay, we see the exe file has been downloaded into your downloads folder. So let's go to the downloads folder. Yeah, this is the file that has been downloaded. Just double click on it, and this will ask you for the user control access, like providing the admin rights to installation of this file. So go ahead and hit on the yes button. Yeah, in the meanwhile the file gets opened up. Once you have downloaded the file from the website, post that there would be a page which says if you want any details of PostgreSQL tips and tricks, just register for the subscription of the tips, right? So just go ahead and give your mail ID so that you can be updated with the PostgreSQL, right? Okay, so once we have that okay, now you can see, right? So we have the pop-up window that got generated by clicking on the exe file that we downloaded. So we shall go ahead with the installation procedure now. So the step 1 would be your downloading of the PostgreSQL, that is done. The next step would be the installation of the PostgreSQL. So let's go ahead and click on next. By default, I suggest you or recommend you to leave it the default values of the default path the installation should happen. Okay, so it's happening under program files PostgreSQL. Okay, so just hit on next. Okay, here come the components that you want to install. Okay, So you can just click on each and every component and it will give you a short description of each and every component. Okay, so this is, yeah, the database server which we are looking for. PgAdmin, this is the graphical user interface, right? So how do you interact with the database? That is what happens here. So the PgAdmin4 is like an front end to your database where you can start communicating with the database, right? So in the current world or today's world, we have this PgAdmin, which is a GUI interface. So earlier, or even the administrators will work on the command line interface. So they use the command line tools to interact with the database. And the stack builder is the one which is required to add some drivers or applications that can complement your database that you have installed. So for now, this is not required. Later you can go into your settings and start installing that as well. Okay, so uncheck the stack builder, hit on next. This is the data directory, so keep it as default, hit on next. So the password what you give here is for the super user, that is the Postgres, the application what we are installing. So remember the password that you are giving here, so that for the every instance you open the PostgreSQL in your local machine, it would prompt for it. Okay, so don't forget, otherwise again you need to start the installation from the very start. Okay, so once you give this, hit on next. Port number is for this particular software, right? Whenever you want to connect it with other applications like Python, C, C++, or any other programming languages that you use, right? So you need to connect to this. So definitely you would need a port number when you want to connect to any database. So for that connection, this port number you leave it as default and hit on next. And yeah, you set the locale as a default locale for the database cluster. These are the default settings that you need to maintain. And yeah, so this is the installation summary. I mean, like what all we selected till now. So if you can see your installation directory, this database directory, and the data directory, port number, the super user name is Postgres, and the password what we have chosen, it's not shown here. So all the settings that we did. So hit on next. Yeah, so set that it's ready to install. Just one button, it will install for us. Okay, I'll resume the video once we have the installation complete. Okay, we see the installation is completed. So completing the Postgres setup wizard, setup has finished installing PostgreSQL on your computer. Now just hit on the finish. So the first step was downloading the installation file. Second step was installing or how to use the .exe file. The third step would be verify whether the installation has happened properly. So for that, open your search window, go here and look for the PostgreSQL recently installed file. Under this you will be having PgAdmin4. We shall go to that in a short span. Let's look at the SQL shell. So this command prompts is the GUI interface with the SQL server, that is your PostgreSQL, right? So just hit enter, one more enter, the port number is 5432, hit enter, the username is default Postgres. So it will prompt for the password. So give the password that you have given during the installation. So it is your password that you need to give and hit enter. So now you see the prompt has changed to Postgres. So let's test it with some command. Let's see what version is installed. Yeah, here we go. So the exe file which we downloaded was 12.3 and we have installed the 12.3 version. So this is the validation step. Let's see the fourth step, that is the PgAdmin4 usage, how to log into the server, and the fifth step would be the disconnection of the server. Okay, so let me close this. Now I can go to the start. Under the PostgreSQL you have something called PgAdmin4. Just click on it. So the GUI which is developed for the PostgreSQL is a very light tool which uses your own browser, the browser whatever you have kept as default, whether it is Mozilla, Edge or Chrome. So it uses the default browser to showcase the GUI application that it has. Okay, so it will take a while to load. Let us give a minute. Okay, so this is your launch page or home page of your GUI application. So in the left hand side you can see the servers. The servers are nothing but what you set up, right? The server, generally the database server that we call, right? Yeah, so when you click on it, it will prompt for a password. Give the same password that we used in the installation as well as during the command line validation that we just did. Okay, so give the password and hit OK. So this will launch the server that are under this section that we have. Okay, so the PostgreSQL 12 is our server by default, and here you can see there are table spaces, the login or group roles. These things are managed by the database admin. So let us concentrate or stick to the thing. So under the databases, there is a default database that is given provided by the Postgres installation itself, right? For every database you will have a session dashboards that will give you like how many tuples are in, tuples are out, I mean the rows in, rows out, how many transactions, how many commits or rollbacks you have done, how many active sessions of the databases you have. And apart from that, here you can see the basic details of the databases. What is this PID, username. This is what we did in the command prompt, right? We took the username of this Postgres. Okay, what are the logs, the prepaid transactions it has. Apart from that, you can look at the properties of it. Okay, and here we have the, here you can see the properties of the databases. The SQL will give us uh, the SQL commands that has been used to create the particular database. Now let's say we want to get into the tables part. So if you go into the schemas, there you'll be having the list of available tables. So here you can see, as this is a default installation by the program itself, the exe file, there are no tables created. But yeah, if you had some tables under the SQL, you could see those commands that were used to generate those tables, like how you are seeing this database thing, right? So this would be your the GUI. This would be your GUI that you'll be using it for the interaction with the PostgreSQL, right? So this would be your fifth step. But yeah, once you have this setup done, everything is done. But yeah, how do you disconnect from the server? Definitely you should do, right? So right click, disconnect the server. So this would be your complete installation of the, yeah, here you can see the server disconnected message that pops up. Okay, with this I wind up my session for the installation of PostgreSQL and the environment setup that is required. Okay.